Hi, my name is Edgar Cruz. I'm born, raised, and based here in Oklahoma City. I've been playing this guitar for almost 5 decades. I've been self-taught when I started, but I eventually graduated from Oklahoma City University in 1986 as the first guitar major in Oklahoma. I think my younger brother Mark became the second, and that school has grown exponentially. Matter of fact, many schools and high schools have expanded their guitar programs. I couldn't be more proud to be a guitarist in Oklahoma. This song I'm going to play is called Calle de Amor. It's Spanish for Street of Love. I actually was asked a long time ago to compose a little song for a jewelry commercial here in Oklahoma. And I thought, okay, when they're showing the sparkly diamonds going around or this or that, what kind of music would fit that image? And I came up with this. This is off of my Guitarras de Amor CD. Guitars of Love is the translation. And it goes like this. I became a musician by a very, very young age. I was inspired by classic rock by my older siblings. They were listening to these albums, LPs, and I was like, oh, I like that stuff. Even though my father was a mariachi guitarist, he was a Mexican strolling guitarist at many Mexican restaurants all the way back into the 50s to the 2000s. I wasn't as inspired by my father at first. I was more inspired by classic rock. But when I did start playing guitar at age 14, back in 1976, I did not only play the guitar, but I picked up the bass guitar. And Dad introduced me to not only the classical guitar, but to the guitarrón. The guitarrón is the big Mexican bass that is portable, and you pluck the strings like that. I started accompanying my father in restaurants for many, many years, decades actually. And I was inspired by his repertoire. He didn't teach me how to play. I learned how at college. But I was hugely inspired by learning different genres, different styles of music by playing what Dad was showing me. And from there, I went off on my own, and then I studied the classical repertoire, and I started arranging the classic rock songs for solo guitar, and eventually getting my own gigs. And that's how I became a guitarist. This next piece is a piece that I wrote for my very first all original album. The album is entitled Pieces of Edgar. And I wanted to write something nuevo flamenco because the albums that I recorded with the late great Ruben Romero out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, were some of my favorite albums that I had put together. We did a lot of Latin love songs and up-tempo flamenco songs, etc. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to write something like that. Well, the reason I wrote this was because my friend Ruben passed away, and I thought, okay, I'm going to dedicate this song to Ruben Romero. This is called Spanish Blood which is the title of one of my earlier albums. It goes like this. What inspires me to create is the fact that I've researched solo guitar players. These are guys that this is all they do. They don't have an accompanist, they don't sing. They do these songs that are arranged for solo guitar. That means you're using your thumb on the bass notes, you're using your fingers for melody, rhythm, piano lines, vocal lines. And ever since I can remember, I was inspired by guitarists who did things that most guitarists would never think of doing. So I was always buying albums that were mostly solo guitar albums. And anytime I could find something that really stood out, you know, back in the day there was Chet Atkins, Roy Clark, Jose Feliciano, some other gentlemen that were doing certain solos on certain albums that I had never heard before. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know you could play that on one guitar. But it inspired me to start doing my own arrangements that most guitarists wouldn't think of doing. An album back in 1983 that totally inspired me, totally took me from here to there was a Japanese guitarist by the name of Kazuhito Yamashita. In 1983, he transcribed a classical work that was 35 minutes long, multiple movements by Modest Mussorgsky. Pictures at an Exhibition. It was originally written for piano, later orchestrated by Maurice Ravel, and it was a huge piece. And when I heard everything, every correct note needed to play it on solo guitar, I was just in awe. My jaw dropped. I thought, anything can be played. You have to have the technical ability to do it, and you have to have the knowledge of how to arrange it for this 6-string instrumental guitar. So that kind of thing inspired me the most. It was because of him that I thought, well, I'll just do Bohemian Rhapsody and show the world how it's done. And that's what happened next, and that changed my whole world. And it became such a big hit to this day. Many guitarists on YouTube are playing my arrangement of Bohemian Rhapsody. This next piece is off my second original album. It's called Oklahoma Guitar is the name of the CD. And my first one was such a success, and I had demand for putting out more original material, which I've never been a composer. But since I record so many genres off my other CDs, I tend to compose in multiple genres. This is actually blues for solo guitar. I was inspired to do this one after seeing one of my biggest inspirations, Mr. Tommy Emmanuel. He is from Australia. He tours more than any guitarist in the world, 300 dates a year all around the world. And he can sit there and play that solo guitar instrumental so good that everybody's jaw drops every time they see him. They're like, I didn't realize a guitar could do that, which is one of my inspirations. Seeing someone who could do something that makes you think, I didn't think a guitar could do that. So I arranged this after seeing him play a little boogie woogie, and I call this one the Bricktown Blues. Who's another artist that I would like to collaborate with? Um, to be honest, this is interesting because I've never wanted to collaborate with any other guitarists in particular until I met my young student about eight, no, yeah, almost 8 years ago. His name is Blake Bricker. And Blake turned out to be a prodigy. At age 2, he started playing drums. Age 3, he started playing piano. I met him at age 8, and he started playing his guitar like this. And I'm like, no, 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 let me teach you. And Blake learned so fast that within a couple of years, he was playing songs that I was playing. And he would accompany me. He would eventually get to the point where he could play anything I could play. And not only that, but he could play my own compositions better than me. So Blake would be one of my biggest inspirations or individuals that I would love to do a project with because he thinks like me. He understands like me. He has the technique like me. And he's the only one that I can think, besides still being close around, that I would do something with. And to this day, we have been playing together in a acoustic trio, which also features my cousin Marco Teo. The trio is called the Brave Amigos, and we've been together now, Marco and I, 10 years. Blake joined back 2011. These are guys that I love collaborating with. This next piece is an original called the Samba de Familia, or Samba for the Family. It's Samba for everyone is basically why I wrote it. It's a happier number and makes you want to dance. I re-recorded it. It was originally on my Pieces of Edgar album, and I re-recorded it with bass, percussion, extra guitar on the Guitarras de Baile album with Ruben Romero. This is the dance version. So here's the solo version of Samba de Familia. The Oklahoma art scene is unique to me because I can literally play at Frenzy Brewery in downtown Edmond, and then I can play there one night, and then I can play it at the UCO Jazz Lab the next night, and literally have two different audiences that one doesn't affect the other. And and I've been doing this for decades. I've played at two venues that were so close together that it's amazing how much support fans give to musicians here in Oklahoma. You can't do that in Dallas, New York, LA, San Francisco. There's so much competition, and no owner of the venue would want this artist to play here if he just played there. That's what I noticed that is totally unique about Oklahoma, is that we are very supportive of our artists and musicians here, and open, and I've never heard much clash, of you can't play here because you just played there. So, bands, that's probably a different thing, but I'm mostly referring to individual artists and solo guitarist, pianist, harpist. I can just speak for myself on this. I've never had that. And I've always loved Oklahoma, playing in Oklahoma, because the appreciation is so much more genuine, honest. You go to New Mexico or some of these bigger cities, and there's just this judgment that is more judgy. And in Oklahoma, everyone here is just so much more humble. I used to tour for decades, and I'd go to these different cities, and it was rare that I found the humbleness that we have here as individuals living in Oklahoma outside of Oklahoma. It was rare to meet and see that, and I was always happy to come back. Matter of fact, I'm here most of the time these days. I don't tour anymore, and it's okay with me. I'm doing this full time. I want to thank you folks for watching Art Moves. I've been a part of Art Moves for at least a decade. I appreciate them having me out. I'm always happy to support the arts in Oklahoma. You can check me out on my website, edgarcruz.com. I'm also on Facebook. But come out and see us sometime, and enjoy live music anywhere you go. Thank you very much.